Here are the headlines for Thursday afternoon, August 22, 2024. Must have been tipped off. Jack Daniels cuts woke training ahead of Robby Starbuck's next exposure. Robby Starbuck, a commentator and filmmaker, is waging an anti-woke crusade against corporate America, which he claims has been infected by the toxic woke mind virus. He has successfully pressured Harley-Davidson, Tractor Supply Company, and Deere & Company to reverse or cancel diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. His next target was Jack Daniels, but the company's parent, Brown-Forman Corp., had been tipped off in advance, leading to a preemptive announcement that they would be making changes to their DEI program. Starbucks' efforts aim to stop the spread of woke ideology across corporate America, which he believes is driven by socialism and seeks to install political officers to enforce equity. Gullible CNN journalist dragged for fact-checking J.D. Vance joke about Tim Walz. CNN reporter fact-checked J.D. Vance's joke about Democrats holding their convention in Chicago so that Tim Walz could say he's been in a war zone, taking the comment at face value and declaring it wrong. Vance had made the joke to highlight Walz's misleading claims of seeing combat, despite there being no evidence to back up these assertions. The incident has sparked ridicule towards CNN for fact-checking an obvious joke, with many calling out the network for its broken journalism standards. Judge rules Robert F. Kennedy Jr. can sue Biden administration over censorship after Supreme Court rejects challenge from 7 states. A federal judge ruled that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. can continue his lawsuit against the Biden administration over censorship at the direction of the government. Judge Terry Doughty found that there is ample evidence to show Kennedy was censored at the direction of government actors and is at substantial risk that the censorship will continue. The decision comes after a June ruling by the Supreme Court, which established that individuals must meet specific requirements to have standing to sue the government for violating their First Amendment rights. Secret Service agents finally placed on leave after Donald Trump assassination attempt. A Secret Service agent was unfairly retaliated against after he filed formal complaints accusing a high-ranking official of failing to properly investigate his allegations of sexual harassment by a colleague. The agent won his case with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and regained his original salary grade, but it is unclear if the accused official faced disciplinary action. In another incident, 2 men of Pakistani heritage were arrested for impersonating Department of Homeland Security officers and duping 4 Secret Service agents tasked with protecting President Biden and his family, although the motivations behind this elaborate scheme remain unclear. Who wins and who loses when the housing bubble pops? The Federal Reserve may not be able to prevent the housing bubble from popping, which could lead to a 50% decline in housing prices, as history suggests is possible when speculative bubbles burst. The top 10% of the population owns nearly half of the nation's real estate wealth, with corporations and wealthy households snapping up homes as rentals and vacation properties. Housing hoarding by the wealthy has contributed to rising prices, but once credit dries up, asset prices will fall, making housing more affordable for younger generations who have been priced out of the market. Ukraine confirms use of United States-provided high-mobility artillery rocket system inside Russia. Ukraine's military has publicly acknowledged that it is using the United States-provided high-mobility artillery rocket systems to attack Russia and destroy its major infrastructure, especially bridges, inside its own territory. The admission was made in a telegram post by Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, which stated that operators had accurately destroyed Russian pontoon bridges in the Kursk region using U.S.-manufactured HIMARS rocket system. This marks the first official public disclosure from Kiev that its forces are using the American-supplied weapon to strike inside sovereign Russian territory. Oil giant Halliburton reportedly hit by cyber attack, disrupting Houston operation. Halliburton Company, the world's second-largest oil service provider, has reportedly fallen victim to a cyber attack that disrupted operations at its Houston headquarters and affected some of its global networks. The company is working with leading external experts to fix the issue and has asked some staff not to connect to internal networks. Halliburton has acknowledged an issue affecting certain company systems, but has neither confirmed nor denied the cyber incident, which may be a ransomware attack. This incident serves as another reminder that hackers could paralyze companies operating critical infrastructure at any time, particularly those in the energy sector. Existing home sales still sluggish, weakest July since 2010, record low affordability. The National Association of Realtors reported that existing home sales in the United States rose 1.3% month over month in July, but remained down 2.5% year over year. Despite this modest gain, home sales are still sluggish, according to Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. The inventory of available homes picked up slightly in July to 1,330,000, but is still well below pre-pandemic levels of more than 1,900,000. Median existing home prices dipped very modestly month over month, but are at their highest ever for a July, with a 4.2% year-over-year increase. Nomura warns soft landing unlikely. What can Powell signal at Jackson Hole? Modified title, Nomura warns soft landing unlikely. What can Powell signal at Jackson Hole? Federal Reserve Chair Powell is likely to signal a 25 basis point rate cut for September at the Jackson Hole meeting. The recent deterioration in economic data suggests that the United States economy is sliding into a recession or significant slowdown in the second half of the year, leading to forecasts of 4 clustered rate cuts from September through January at the upcoming scheduled Federal Open Market Committee meeting. Record Volatility Index termination sets scene for turbulence ahead. The Volatility Index, or VIX, has fallen rapidly in both absolute terms and relative to volatility across various assets, setting the stage for potential future market turbulence. The Standard & Poor's 500 stock index nearly reached a new high recently, despite experiencing a significant decline of almost 10% in recent weeks, making it seem as though nothing had happened.